Hey guys and gals, welcome back to CafeCon Lego. This is your girl Cece, and today we're talking about this big boy for today's brews and reviews. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. I create weekly Lego content. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the box real quick. This is the Iron Man Mosaic from Lego's newest 18+ theme, Lego Art. It's set number 31199 and it has 3,167 pieces, but you don't use them all because you have a lot left over, but you will fill up the entire 16 by 16 by 9. So you'll have 2,304 pieces being used in this set. Before we take this off the wall, we're gonna look at the box. So the box art for this one is very consistent with the other 18+ sets that we usually get. You have the black background, and because the box art is the art, it makes sense. It shows you the 3 options that you can get within this one particular set. However, it doesn't show you the 4th option that you can build with buying 3 of these sets. Not much going on the back. It does advertise the soundtrack, but we'll kind of talk about that more and why I used air quotes there. You can see how you can put it up on the wall, which is great. And for some reason, they also included this blurry image of some hipster business dude staring out the back of his window. So let's go ahead and take this thing off the wall so we can get a closer look. So the 3 options that you can build within this set is the Mark III, the Hulkbuster, and then the Mark 85, which is the one that I built here, which was from the newest in-game movie. Usually for my reviews, I go into the category of playability, but we're gonna skip that because this is a sophisticated piece of artwork. So let's go ahead and talk about the design and build experience, because I feel like with this particular set especially, they go hand in hand. I loved how they made these new 16 by 16 Technic bricks so that you can create this really nice, sleek looking border. Also made it really manageable to build because it came in little sections and chunks. Honestly, that really helped me during this build and increased the build experience, because it did get a little iffy with some of the colors if you were building in low light like I was, because I was just watching TV. With 15 different colors, it did get a little bit hectic. I would say that the instructions were really great and they did a great job at making this a nice build. It was almost like building by the numbers, if you guys remember Paint by the Numbers. And actually, I think that's still around. You can probably go grab it at Walmart. Also in the instruction book, you have the legend, which was really great. It showed you what each of the 15 different colors were, what their numbers were, so that you didn't have to flip back and forth between a legend, maybe in the front part of the book, and then what you were building. And I feel like that would have made it a lot easier to screw up. Speaking of messing up, let's go ahead and talk about the brick separator that is included within this set. This is a new brick separator. A lot of people are giving it different names, and as you can see here, it is pretty thick, and it comes really in good handy if you do have to take some of the pieces off, because you can cover about 6 to 8 little studs with this wide, thick brick separator. I also really liked how they used the round 1x1 plates instead of the square ones, because in the instruction book, it actually said that they were gonna go with the square ones, but it made it really pixely. And I don't know if you can see my mosaic that I did of Avatar Aang here. It does look very pixelated with these square plates. I'm really glad that, you know, if you're gonna invest in something, right, coming from the Lego group, that they took the time to try out 2 different styles and decided that this one was the best fit. And I agree. I'm rating this 7.5 out of 10 cafe cups, because although it was a bunch of round plates here, that did get a little monotonous. The color variations keep you on your toes within the build so that you really can't zone out too much, or you're gonna be placing light brown where you should be placing dark brown or a burgundy. Those colors really start to get muddied together after a couple of hours of doing this. Keeps you on your toes, and then it also improves the design. Speaking of which, I'm going to give this 8 out of 10 cafe cups for the design. Like I said, I like the color variations and also the way that they oriented it so that it gives it more of a gradient and realistic looking image. and just a rad image overall. So definitely 8 out of 10 cafe cups for me in this category. I almost forgot to talk about the back here. The red ones here allow you just to be able to center it. You actually get 2 of these new hook pieces that I haven't seen before, and they're not really hook, but so much so that you can hook the piece onto a nail on the wall like I did. RIP my security deposit. But so what I did, because I don't have a whole lot of tools, and maybe you don't either, to like line up the nails, because I tried to do 2 nails so that the piece could be secure on the wall. However, I made them super crooked. Took them both out and tried to center it, and then, like I said, I only used 1 of these so that I could put that in the middle. Let me briefly address the soundtrack in this build experience category while we're over here talking about it. So the soundtrack is actually a podcast. It's a 90-minute podcast, which is actually very interesting, and I listened to part of it a little bit before I started the build, and I will probably finish listening to it afterwards, because I'm not the type of person that likes to listen to podcasts while I build. I like to watch TV or listen to music. But yeah, I was really sold on there being an original soundtrack. I was thinking maybe something from the different Avengers movies, but I guess an informative podcast is actually pretty cool and kind of enhances the sophistication that comes within this 18+ set. So if you would like to listen to the soundtrack or the podcast, it is available on Lego's YouTube page as well as lego.com under the About section, where this set and the other Mosaic sets and Lego art sets are listed. Moving on to displayability. The entirety of this theme is based around creating really cool, aesthetically pleasing, displayable sets. So I really can't give this anything less than 9 out of 10 cafe cups in this category. And it really only lost a point in my book because I would have loved to have seen a more dynamic pose as a part of the 3 options, rather than having me buy 3 of them in order to get a cooler image. Now I get it from a marketing standpoint, but if they would have given me the option to create 1 regular suit Iron Man in a static pose like this, 1 in a little bit of a dynamic pose, and then the Hulkbuster, I think that would have increased the displayability in my book. I think this also gets a 9 out of 10 in the displayability category because, like I said, in the design category, they were able to create this really clean looking border. I feel like with a lot of mosaics, that is something that is missing when it comes to MOCs, is that we didn't have these Technic bricks before that allowed us to build outwards around it to create a border and essentially a frame. You would have to put them in your own frame. So to create a brick built frame here, I think is really great, and honestly I think it looks really fantastic on the wall, if I do say so myself. So finally, for the price, for $120 for over 3,000 pieces, especially those newly designed pieces just for this theme, I really can't complain too much for $120. Of course, if it was an even $100, that wouldn't have been bad either. And honestly, if you compare getting something of this size to like a wood print or a canvas print and authentic Marvel Iron Man merchandise, you're gonna be paying around that $120 to $200 price point anyway. So to be able to like build something and get an activity out of this, I heard some people were able to build it with their friends or family, and you really can't put a price on that either. Certainly can't complain too much about the price, and so I'm going to say that it's average. It's an average price for this amount of pieces for what you're getting here, and I would almost say that it's a pretty darn good price. So for the price category, I'm going to say that this is a 7.5 out of 10. And so if you calculate everything up, that's about 8 out of 10 cafe cups overall for this set, and it actually becomes one of my highest reviewed sets. But what rating would you give this set? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the review, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe for more. Let me know also if you would like to see more from the Lego art theme. I have a lot of actually blank walls here in the apartment. We're still kind of finding our groove here in the new place, and so I wouldn't mind picking up a couple more of the Lego art sets, maybe the Marilyn Monroe. So let me know if you would like to see a review on that. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.